All right, YouTube. Today's video is, well, one step forward, two steps back, but sometimes that's okay. Luna, that's not your food. That's not your food. Let her eat the rest of her food. Anyways, yeah, it's not always a bad thing. I'm super stoked. You're about to see why here in just a second. All right, so another set of coilovers. Oh yeah, by the way, I now have a iPhone to record off of. That way I ain't got to use my personal iPhone. So that's pretty sick. Thanks, girlfriend. Yeah, so huge shout out to Jeff Ward on the Miata cart page. He hooked me up with these. All I had to do is pay shipping. They are a little wore out, but hey, that's okay. I mean, they're not wore out, but they are, they got some wear to them. They do got a little bit of overspray. I'm not worried about any of that. He's super sick for sending me these. They are around $800-900 for a set of these versus the $200 max speedings that I have on here. I couldn't be more happy, and I'm just very appreciative that he was willing to hook me up like that, because I mean, he didn't owe me nothing. He could have at any point just sold these for $300-400 and put that money back into his car. Instead, he said, hey, you know what, pay shipping, they're all yours. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing with those. It's a set of coilovers at the end of the day, so it'll make somebody's day, even if they are not necessarily the best quality. These things here, the minimal I've driven on this thing, they're dog ass, kinda, not gonna lie. They are very stiff and very bouncy. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend buying those, but if somebody gives them to you for free and you're on stock coils, hey, I guess if you want to lower your car a little bit, that's sick. So the only thing missing on these is the adjustable damper, I believe it is, on all four of them. I should probably be able to get the little deals that you stick down in there. I'm sure they sell them. I've never had a coilover with this style. Everything I've always had was a sleeved. So I might be wrong here, but I think I just backed these off. Or wait. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to have to look into that. I sound like a dumbass, I'm sure, but I've never had coilovers that are this style. So bear with me on that. I'm not even really looking to make this thing any lower. I just really want it to ride a little bit better. At the end of the day, it's not perfect. It is a cart, but these will definitely be better than that. So, yeah, not looking forward to tearing back into this, but at least I've done it before. So all the bolts should not fight me. That's a plus. I also will be trying to clean off some of this slight overspray. Like, again, it's no big deal, but I will try and get some of that off of there and just kind of clean them up a little bit. Maybe put some sort of oil or something on these threads. Keep this stuff from seizing up, because this will be the last set of coilovers, most likely, that this car will ever see. Yeah, if anybody's ran these K-Sports before, let me know down below. I've heard that they're pretty good. They do come with these little adapters that you stick in right here and on that side all the way through. Not really sure why they do that, but that's what they do. Yeah, I also did not get the adjustment, the coilover wrenches, but I have these. I wonder, just to look real quick, this is how cheap the max speeding ones are. I think they're both the exact same size. Yeah, they are. Yep, they're the exact same. Wonder. Oh yeah, that'll work. Ooh, the bottom one might not. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to finagle with that, but hey. I do want to say how nice it is having a separate camera to record off of, because having to switch between my personal phone all the time, turning off music, doing all that, phones ringing in between recording, stuff like that, it's gonna be good. I can't wait to do this video, honestly, just because I've got a different phone to record off of. So yeah, this is sick. All right, so if you're new to doing coilovers, this video can help a little bit. I don't quite remember all that I had to do, but I know it's not very much. I can figure it out and let you guys know. But I do know you undo these top two here, and then you'll come down here, and there's actually a nut on the back side inside of your lower control arm here that is welded, or not welded. It's got like pieces of metal like folded. It should be welded, but you know, Mazda. You got to be super careful when you're undoing this bolt, because if that fucking nut starts spinning in there, then you have to do what I did and angle grind that area out so you can get a wrench up in there. And it's not fun, so be careful with that. And then, don't mind this, I know there's no nuts there, but I believe you pull this, and you should be able to just jack the car up, and it should fall right out of there. I don't remember if you have to undo the upper control arm. I don't remember. I know you don't have to pull the CV or nothing crazy like that. So yeah, we'll go ahead and start doing these two guys. Might try and do a time lapse. I don't know. I'll let you know. And if anything pops up, I'll let you know. So yeah, let's try and get these old girls out of here and get the K-Sports into there. Let's roll. Also, if you're a kart guy, I do have a video on this. They work great. They help keep stuff up out of there. I'm gonna have to change up how I go about mounting those now that I don't have the stud, because I was just gonna screw a nut down on there or extend the studs on these coilovers. That's probably what I'll do in the future with those, is just put longer studs on there and then just drill holes here and here. Then I can just fasten that down real lightly and they'll stay. So yeah. You know you're an asshole when you leave your jack outside in the Midwest there, and it freezes to death. So now old Gertrude over here is heating her up. So yeah. Alright, so I haven't gotten to putting these in yet, because I kind of decided I would rather go ahead and tear them down, clean them up a little bit, just paint thinner all this, get this back to as clean as possible, tear the whole coilovers apart, clean up the coils themselves, and try to see what the deal is with these bushings in here, and then just kind of clean up all the threads and shit, put them back together, and then stick them in the car nice and clean. That overspray is kind of pissing me off, so I'll definitely get rid of that shit and this, so then we can go from there. Alright, so it's the next day here. I kind of got the coilovers cleaned up and whatnot. I got my buddy Junior here. He's helping me out. No, you're not going outside. No. So, yeah. Next clip, we're tearing the rear ones off of the car. So, let's do this. Alright, so we'll bust these two off of here, and then I'll show you what to do next. Alright, so once these nuts are out, you can just kind of push down like that, and then you gotta bust this guy off here, and I believe the sway bar. Yeah, we're a bunch of ding-dongs. Got a nut stuck in the socket, and the punch stuck in the nut. Nice. Alright, so it's not bolted in all the way yet, but yeah, literally all I did was the top two bolts, the bottom bolt there, and then this bolt right here on the sway bar. I know the lighting's kind of shitty, but this thing's about 1.5 inches lower. It's obviously sagging down so you can't see it, but once it's on the ground, I'm gonna easily be able to notice it. So now we'll just go ahead and do the other side, and then try and tackle the front. I'm gonna have to get new hardware though, because all these nuts are just shot. So All right, so the car is definitely lower. The tire is pretty well even with the little chunk of metal right there, and before it was even with right about there. So yeah, it's definitely lower, and what I'm mainly concerned about is how they work, and they actually work. They don't fucking bounce. If you push down on the front end of this thing with those coilovers, it bounces like 3 times the year one push. This works like it's supposed to. So I'm definitely stoked on that. And I mean, you can't see where the shit, but it don't look bad at all. Hell yeah. Alright, so super off topic here, but I think what we're going to do, just because I need some hardware, and I figure if I'm cutting the knuckles and all of that off the car, then I need to wait to tear the front end apart. I still might do that tonight, but I'm looking at something here, and I'm debating on it. I don't know, I'll just show you. So, realistically, I don't need this, and I don't need this. I could just take that off because, well, for one, this side's broke, and then the other side is fine, but it is kind of a nice trim piece, now that I think about it. You know what? Never mind. I'm going to leave this in here, too. I think I'm going to keep it because it is a nice trim piece, and it just gives it a nice flush look. I could probably get the aluminum. I know they make those in aluminum, and then they make the cover here too in aluminum. You know what? Yeah, no, we're just gonna go ahead and start tearing this front end apart. I'm always all over the place, I know, but yeah, I don't know. Could take off the wiper blades and clean them up. Yeah. Alright, boys, so now we're going to pull the jack up to the front and get the front end of the car jacked up and try to start disassembling this front end. I'm not going to quite be able to, I might put it together just because it ain't that big of a deal, but I really would like to just tear apart the front end. That way I can get these knuckles cut and all that. I don't know why I didn't think about it before I started filming this video, but it's going to be so worth it, having a little bit of a wait time, getting the car back together, just to have more angle. And, yeah, so, unfortunately, I'm going to have to tear this front end apart. I guess let's get at it. eBay wheels, fake wheels, whatever you want to call them. Eat me, bud. Alright, so it did not go as planned, of course. I did end up getting them all on, but the front end was fighting us so much that I didn't want to record all of that. It's pretty straightforward as far as the front end goes. Literally just the 2 top bolts up here on the coilover, and then drop your sway bar, just undo it right at the lower control arm, and we ended up just pulling the upper control arm bolt out, the long one, which you gotta kind of fidget around to get to, and get it out, but it was easiest to just do it that way, and we can wait. I know I was wanting to cut the knuckles and all that, but we can do that at another time. And I'd rather just honestly probably just buy the destroyer die kit, and then we can just do all that at once, and then I can mess with my camber and all that. which would be really nice to be able to do because this car is bent in the front end. And yeah, the alignment shop probably won't have a fun time doing that. I might end up just eyeball aligning it myself, but I really don't want the front tires getting demolished. So yeah, I wish I could show it to you a little bit better than this, but it looks like shit out, and I don't want to drive the car into that. So let me see what I can come up with. All right, so overall, I'm extremely happy with these coilovers. They actually do what they're supposed to do. They don't just bounce 3 times when you push down on the car. They just go down and go right back up to where they're supposed to. The car is about an inch lower now, which is fine. I never wanted this thing to be slammed. I'd rather it be more function than form. And I noticed too that on this side it's fine, and on that side the wheel's closer. Well, that's because the car's bent over there, but now the wheel is somehow not like that anymore. I don't know. I don't understand it. It makes absolutely no sense, but there's way more room there now. So I don't really know what the deal is there, but it's fine with me. I really wish there was more room, or it was nicer out and then I'd just pull the car out, but definitely looks pretty good. I'm stoked on it. So yeah, I wish I could have done this video a little bit more in depth for you guys, but it's just one of them things where you get to going and going and going. And I mean, overall, it really didn't take us that long to swap them, but it was just a nightmare when I was trying to pull the knuckles off so I could cut and weld them and all that. And I just ended up, I have a video on this somewhere back in the archives if you're really wanting to see how to do that. But there's so many videos on the on YouTube on doing coilovers on Miatas. I mean, it's not really that big of a deal. There they are up in there. Not the flashiest things. I kind of like that though. They're just kind of subtle. And oh yeah, well, you know what? I'll save some of this for this next video I'm about to do. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this shit show like it always is. And if you did, maybe hit that subscribe button, come back for more. I don't know. Yeah, got some news coming here soon. Super stoked on it. Peace. All right, literally just got done with one video and I'm on to this next one here. Basically, I'm just kind of doing a little bit of an update. It's not really that interesting, but I figured I'd go ahead and just walk over some of it. And I got some buddies that might be coming over, and they now have possible drift cars. We'll see here in a minute. So I wish I had a photo of it, but my fan wiring setup was super jank. My ground was like screwed in right here, and just like I only had this one fan that worked. I never messed with this one, and that was just so I could like get to car shows and shit, and I was like trailering the car there, so it didn't really matter. But I went ahead and tore all that out, grounded it over here, ran some loom in. I am going to tape that so it looks like it kind of meshes in with this, but ran it down through here. Don't mind my fuse setup. It's a little jank at the moment. I will get to add a fuse for that. I just didn't have one on hand, so I kind of made my own out of these guys here, actually. They'll get you by in a pinch. You can just stick two of them together and stick your fuse right down in that. But, yeah, so ran these, split it off, so fan 1, fan 2. So now both of my fans kick on at the same time. I didn't necessarily want it that way, and I might actually put an interrupter switch in at some point here so that I don't always just have both fans going, because it does run super cold like that, of course. I just mainly did that so if I am ripping on it, I know it's getting air at all times through the radiator. And then I went ahead and there was this mass of, well, actually, oh, dropping it. Got rid of this whole slew of wires. This stuff we don't need, so it's like, this thing right here mainly was driving me nuts, and it actually went to that radiator fan. But it was just bunched down in there, and it looked like shit, and now I don't need it. So I went ahead and ripped that out. Looks much better, mint. Then there was this guy. I don't really know what it goes to. It was over here. Not sure what it's for, but all the connectors broke off, which I actually have a connector right here that is the same one as what was on it before I broke it off completely. So if I screwed up and cut that off for no reason, I'm just going to save that, and I can stick it back on there. And then there was this other, well, I don't know where it went. There was some other shit that I ripped out of there. I don't know where it went. Went ahead, somewhat mounted the ECU up off of there, because, I mean, people's feet and just the water and all that shit, I didn't want it getting anywhere near that. I am going to make a band to kind of go along the bottom there and strap it in. I also pulled all this back apart because when my brother and his buddy put it back together, there was this line right here was actually rubbing on the pulley, so it made a leak, coolant leak. So I pulled that all back apart, put some new hose on there, stuck it back a little bit better, and I actually, and you might even have to do this yourself if you get this, probably any aftermarket radiator. Which side was it? I believe it was this side. I had to shave down this bit of plastic here just to make it easier pulling all this apart, because it was so close. It was rubbing on this air breather here, and I was afraid that it would rub through. Also, there was something that them guys didn't notice, but the bottom of the air breather was just barely touching the alternator, and that's just because they didn't quite have it put together back the correct way. But I'm glad all that happened, because I noticed that my belt was loose, so my alternator was somewhat spinning and not spinning in the belt. So I went ahead and tightened that all back up, so that's good and buttoned up. And yeah, that's about all I've done off camera as far as I can think of. So I also have acquired the funds to get the roll cage. My only issue right now is getting in touch with MiataCage.com. I have not been able to do that. And their website, last time I was on there trying to do that, was broke, and it was broke for a very long time. And I don't know if it's fixed yet. So I don't know. We'll have to figure that out. Hopefully we can get this cage ordered. Because once the cage is ordered and installed, the rest of this build is just going to fly by. There won't be, you know, putting seats in, stuff like that. I'll have to find one more seat, make up some seat brackets. I do got a little bit of repair that I started doing down there. I might show you. I screwed up, so I got to cut it back out of there. And I didn't have no gas at the time for my welder, so it was just spitting bull crap. I shouldn't even have tried it, but I did. Yeah, bumpers and mirrors, and throw the interior back together and bedliner the floor, and this thing's ready to hit the streets after I get it, send the title in. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked on that.